What is up? Welcome back to another episode of Don't Quote Us Sports. It is February 25th, Wednesday, February 25th, I should say. And Herb, Q Freebird.
You want? I don't know if I. That's the best I got for you. But hell yeah, baby!
Because if
America.
you've been living under a goddamn rock for the last couple of days, you obviously know that the U.S. men's Olympic hockey team has won their first gold medal since the Miracle on Ice in 1980. 46 years in the making, Herb.
46 of them things, baby.
And we are officially back on top of the world.
Woo!
But this is a good moment to win with graciousness, because this is like America's like fourth or fifth best sport, and this is Canada's best sport. Like, this is their sport, so like it would be really rude of us
You're taking that road
to like rub it in on them and like winning at what they are known for. But we should not tell them to get bent backwards by any means, because that would be completely rude.
Our Canadian viewership's going to be very upset with you.
I know. They're just going to have to fucking build a bridge and get over it. Or just give me 4 years to live in this.
Okay, here's my thought. Yes, super excited. I thought it was a solid game. And what a lot of Canadians are saying is,
let's get into it.
Should we be proud of the way that went? Sure, we won. But from the Canadian standpoint, they're saying they mollywopped us for 60 straight minutes.
And guess what? We get to wear the fucking gold around our necks. That is one of the dumbest arguments you can make after losing a game, where it's like,
win's a win. It's fun to win.
Exactly. It's like, well, we usually played better the entire game. Like, we were the better team on that ice. Like McKinnon's quote after the game, "You tell me who the best team on the ice was today." Well, I'm going to pick the team that won 2-1.
They're so upset about the 3-on-3 situation,
which they had no problems when they needed 3-on-3 overtime to beat Slovakia or whoever it was in the quarterfinals. They had no qualms about it then.
No, and it's like you knew the rules going in, right? And
also, they make it seem like they're at such a disadvantage as well when they're able to throw out McDavid, McKinnon, and Makar all at the same time.
Literally 3 of the top 5 players in the world.
Probably the 3 top players in the world right now. But it's not just that. It's not just that. It's they also complained about, there's an asterisk next to this one because Sidney Crosby was out. So they're pointing towards that as well.
No, it's not on us.
Then they're pointing towards the refs and how they think the U.S. got away with a lot of plays that should have been called that weren't, even though how many wide open net shots did they whiff on, and how many breakaways did Hellebuck stop? It's not like, it's one of those things where it's like, you had your opportunities to win.
Plenty of them. And McKinnon had a wide open door and choked it.
So you can't, I don't want to hear any of this, like, these excuses.
Yeah, and for me, like, yeah, they were the more dominant team out there. But at the end of the day, we scored more goals.
I was full on sweating during that game from probably the second period on, because we could just not sustain any offensive zone.
We couldn't stay on their side of the ice one bit
at all. No, It felt like any second the floodgates were just going to open for Canada. Like it was going to be one to give them the lead, and then it was just going to be a couple more because they were controlling every aspect of that game. We didn't take
And
in the third period. We didn't take an offensive zone faceoff until like 8 minutes left.
and I told you, like it was from the Canadian side, it was going to come fast and in a hurry, and it did. And Hellebuck stood on his head. He did a perfect Bobrovsky imitation out there because he was all over the place. There were
And they
times when I was like, "Oh, we're cooked," because
and,
he was out of position.
and they did exactly what I was worried that they were going to do. They scored the first goal, and then it felt like they almost like laid back, you know,
Mm-hmm.
where they were just waiting for Canada to beat them,
Yeah,
rather than
and
putting
that
their
was
foot
our
on
issue in the Four
pedal.
Nations. So, how about Jack Hughes? How about Jack Hughes getting the game winner?
In what
Who would you have
context?
preferred it to be? Somebody else?
Dude, it took me a good like 5 to 10 minutes after the goal was scored to even realize who it was. Because obviously the whole celebration and everything happens or whatever, and everybody's like freaking out. I was just trying to wait for a replay to see the actual, because in hockey it happens so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like immediately it happens, I jump up and I'm freaking out, and then a couple minutes later I look over at Rachel and I'm like, I don't even know who scored that goal, to be completely honest with you. But it
There
was
are some people on Twitter like upset that like Jack Hughes is the guy, and I'm like, why? Why not Jack Hughes? What are we upset about that it's Jack Hughes?
and I will say it has to feel good for him considering he was the one that got called for the penalty that gave Canada that power play at the end of the third period. So, oh wait, was that him, or was he the one that got a draw? I know he got a drawn on him. He got the double minor. I might be mistaken that, but whatever. But after getting
Let me,
your teeth bashed in, yeah, and
and then
it's
so
probably a lot more of him getting dragged is from the post celebration turmoil that's going on in social media right now.
well, and let me say this about Jack Hughes: we might have gotten the greatest image in U.S. hockey ever. Have you seen that photo of him? He's got Old Glory draped over the shoulders. He's bleeding, smiling. Teeth are half gone. Like it is just such a perfect Team USA hockey photo. You know which one I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I've been seeing it plastered all over T-shirts ever since.
I think it has to be. I think it has to be. I mean, it might be more iconic than the 1980 Lake Placid photo, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And the craziest part is when we go back to the Olympics in 2030, we honestly could carry almost this entire roster back over. That's how young we were. Gensel is the only one right now that is on the opposite side of 30. And I think he's 31 or something.
And could maybe he could. I mean, he definitely could still be out there with him.
Yeah. So that's kind of crazy. But I guess the question then is, do you believe that this win surpasses the 1980 gold medal squad? And the reasoning behind that is competition's better because you have your best on best with NHL players there, or smaller because you didn't have all of the geopolitical stakes that were occurring behind the scenes associated with it.
Like, which was a better? I get what you're saying. I don't think as incredible a moment as this is for USA hockey. I think it's number 2 moments of all time. And it's not so much. It is winning the gold medal. Don't get me wrong, but it's the semifinal against the Soviets. You literally took a bunch of amateur players and put them up against one of the greatest hockey teams ever assembled by the Soviets. I think that moment, and then you add the geopolitics of the Cold War in there, I think that moment meant so much more for the people of the period. Whereas, like, yes, this is awesome because we get to talk shit, but there's no next level implications of it all. So, and the fact that it is pro player on pro player, they've got top players in the world more than we do. But let's not act like there aren't 3 or 4 guys on Team USA that are top 10, top 15 players in the world right now.
Yeah, and you say there's no stakes, but I think the outcome of
Oh
this
yeah,
game is that the fact that we can call this a rivalry now, because up to this point in the Olympics where NHL players were involved, Canada was 4-1 against the USA, on top of the Four Nations and some of those other like World Hockey Championships and whatnot. They've always seemed to kind of big brother us in that way. Now that we've officially won, now this becomes a rivalry, like a true rivalry moving
and I'm
forward.
about that, and I'm glad that we're at this point because it's going to make 2028 really fun.
And it truly makes me think that the USA, at least our development pipeline, is starting to catch up, if not almost exceed Canada's at this point. Because now you're even seeing, because of NIL and that stuff, a lot of Canadian players that are foregoing playing junior hockey to go play in the NCAA before going to the NFL or NHL draft, um, which I obviously they would still be representing Canada if they were good enough. But
Sure.
it go
So
I think it kind of just goes to show how many. If you just look at the USA's roster, how many of those players fed through the national development team, and it obviously means it's working.
Well, it means a huge deal in terms of the development of young hockey players in America. And that America, there is while it's not huge, I wish it was bigger, there is a hockey culture and it is expanding, right? And I think, as crazy as it's going to sound, how many young kids in Florida who are very good athletes got to watch the Panthers do what they did?
We have the Panthers that won it 2 straight years, and then you had the Lightning that won two
Exactly.
in 3 years.
You and I both know, whether it's on the football field, basketball court, right? Some of the best athletes in this country come from California, Florida, and Texas. Hockey is on a massive rise in those 3 states. You've got a number of guys on the team who are from those states. And so now I'm a young kid in LA and I'm watching Austin Matthews out there, California kid. You know what I mean? Like it makes me, I want to go play hockey. And now all of a sudden we're getting better athletes playing hockey. We've always talked about, like, if the freakiest athletes in this country in the NFL and NBA could skate, like, what would that do for Team USA hockey? I think we're going to find out one day.
Yeah, without a doubt. I'm trying to think of like the sporting event where it's similar, and you can almost point towards like the women's World Cup for soccer, um, where they had that that was in the U.S. I think, right, the L.A. one with her ripping
Yep.
her jersey off. I feel like that really like spurred a lot of people
Young girls
towards
to go play soccer.
exactly. Um, so you could definitely see something similar, like one of those cultural shifts brought on by this. But it's one of those things, obviously, you're not going to see for a decade.
Yeah, no, but I mean, we can sit here and be super hopeful that, in 2044 or whatever it is, like, oh, we're gonna have a good team out there, and watch how diverse Team USA hockey gets. That's gonna be super cool to see because we've now started to see it with women's Team USA, right? And all of that, and the PWHL and how great they're doing. Hockey's on the rise, man, on both sides of it. On both sides of it. I'm super excited about it. And this, I mean, you win a gold medal and you get to bring it back home. Every little kid who sees a Wheatie box at the grocery store is going to go, I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Can I say one?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No? Tell me.
I've got one more thing about the Team USA. It's a little bit of a gripe. who is generally recognized as the best American-born hockey player of all time?
Um. Oh, I know where you're gonna go with this. I would
Mm-hmm.
argue it's probably Mike Modano, personally,
See,
but
and
that's
I think
Minnesota bias.
sure, and I think Patrick Kane generally
Yep.
is considered the greatest American hockey player to ever do it. Pat Kane is still playing in the NHL. And I understand that you got to build your team the way you need it to be. And what a squad this was. Don't get me wrong. But you're telling me we couldn't find a spot for Patty Kane to get his gold. You know what I mean? Like, and I think I referenced that when we were kind of leading into it a little bit about Patrick Kane. But like, I wish Pat was able to get a gold medal, even if he didn't play much. And I'm sure that's not what he wanted to do. But God, there's a part of me that felt like Pat Kane should have been on that team.
Yeah, I get the sentiment and where you're coming from with saying that, but at the same time, I can't sit here and argue with any of the roster decisions that were made because
No,
of what the knowing what the outcome was. Obviously, we can play the hindsight game over and over again if we want. If we end up losing this game, right? But
sure.
if we end up losing that game, even if Patrick Kane is on the team, I don't know if that is the difference maker either. You know what I mean? Because he
No,
is older, but then on the same like save wavelength, he's not a center, so face off like specialty doesn't play into it, doesn't kill penalties. He wouldn't play on the first team power play, might slide in on the second team power play, but then he's playing fourth line minutes most likely, so it comes out to 7-ish minutes. And when you're in a bottom four role like that in the Olympics, you need to have a complete game like Vincent Trocheck did, or JT Miller, that have a full 60-foot game, which at this point I think you can argue that Patrick Kane does not. But I get what
I
you're
get what
saying.
you're,
But
and I get
at
what
least he
you're saying
has
there.
three cups that he can like fall back on. So it's not like he doesn't have anything.
No, but I think it's not like he would have been totally out of place being on that roster. It's not like he would have inhibited them any further or hindered them in any way. He would have gone out there and competed. It just wouldn't have been very much.
Yeah.
Which, for me, get Patty that gold medal, I would have been okay with that. I just when you have the greatest American born still playing actively in the NHL, I feel like there should have been a spot for him.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. But beggars can't be
Hey,
choosers sometimes, right?
shout out to the women's USA hockey team, putting belt to ass to everybody, to everybody.
Yeah, they allowed what, 2 goals the entire Olympics or something?
I mean, good God, they whooped everybody they play. It wasn't like leading into the gold medal game. It wasn't necessarily fun to watch them after the second period because they were just
No.
beating people that bad.
Yeah.
But let me throw this at you because I didn't realize this, and I saw a clip of post game. Coach went up and wanted to see the medal. Did you know the coaches don't get a gold medal?
I found that out after the fact.
What are we doing?
That seems pretty crazy.
That's absurd. That is absurd. And like, I guess the argument is like, well, if a figure skater wins, should their coach win it? I mean, yeah, probably. If a bobsled coach helps the team win the gold, what do we? And how shittily they were made this year. I mean, you're telling me you couldn't make a couple extra?
I also, and maybe this is just being very ignorant, is I feel like hockey coaches have much greater impact on what the outcome of a game could be through line changes and strategy and things of that nature. Whereas with skiing or bobsled or figure skating, right? It's not they all the practice is leading up to it, and then they have one go at it for the most part, right? It's not like there's a lot of like in game like
Adjustments to be made and
yeah,
coaching to be
like
done.
once you get to the actual event, it's on you, like with no assistance. Whereas hockey, I feel like is a little bit different.
So if they can't give it to one coach, they can't give it to every coach. Ugh. Ugh. Give the coaches medals, man.
Something like that, man.
You know what I mean? Like they put in as much time as the athlete did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found that out and I was like, that can't be real. Nope, sure shit's real.
I feel like they got to get something, though, right?
Yeah,
It's
a
not,
pat on the ass.
it's not like they're just not getting anything, right?
I, I don't think they're getting a damn thing, brother.
Damn.
I wonder if they get the bonuses from the nations that do the bonus for a gold. I wonder if the coaches get in on that action.
Yeah.
Because I think the U.S. pays like $25K or something like that for a gold medal.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
It's more than most countries.
Is it? I thought it was on the lower end compared to a lot of countries.
European nations, you're probably right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But USA Hockey, Q Freebird one more time.
Yeah, I don't know if they want to hear my rendition of that again.
Yeah.
It wasn't good the first time.
But we can flip into next topic. And Herb, I actually want to talk to you about, because obviously there hasn't been a ton of sports over the last week and a half, 2 weeks. Because there's been a lot of conversation regarding the NBA draft lottery, because we have so many teams currently tanking. I think there's 11 teams that are on pace for 50 plus losses or something like that this season, and it's only going to get worse the rest of this year. And I think it's hemorrhaged by the fact that pretty much everybody believes that there are maybe almost 5 like truly franchise changing players in this year's draft, and some could argue that even up to 10 players could have a very sizable like impact at the NBA level, right? And I'm curious what your thoughts are as to the current state of like the NBA, and whether or not we something needs to be done about it, and if something does need to be done about it, if you had any type of like proposals or ideas that you've heard that you kind of liked.
I heard one that I didn't like, and it was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And luckily, Stephen A. Smith checked the shit out. I can't remember who the hell the guy was, but he said do away with the draft entirely and just let these players declare, and then it's free agency style, and they get to pick where they play. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That is, I mean, who comes up with that? Who thinks that? Like, and he said it with his whole chest, Isaiah. He said it with his whole chest.
Yeah, I can
The
imagine.
anti-tanking, right? The anti-tanking. It's bad for the sport. It really is. How many years did the Kings tank and shit the bed in the draft? Every year, year after year. It didn't matter. So not only are you a bad product on the court, but you're really doing nothing to improve that.
But
I think
I will say there's a Kings might be a little bit different, just for the fact that they are so poorly ran.
mm-hmm.
It was like one of those where it was just like I don't even think they were like purposefully tanking. They would just end up being really bad, and they would just flub the pick repeatedly. So then obviously they can't improve because they keep flubbing all these high picks that they're getting. Kind of like the Wolves were for a long time before they drafted Anthony Edwards.
Yeah. So and my brain when you throw like, hey, what's the solution, right? So let's get rid of the lottery percentages and all that. Let's just go NBA style, worst record, and if there's a tie along the way, fuck it, do a coin toss for all I care, right? Roll a die. But guess what? If your team is 4 years in a row in the top 3, you're now forced to sell the team. I know that's an extreme, and it'll never be done. But like that is the level of repercussion we would have to get to actually make a difference. And truthfully, it's embarrassing for the sport. I understand where Adam Silver's coming with all this. It's embarrassing to have, you said 3 teams are going to get to potentially 50 losses?
I think 11 teams are currently on track.
11?
I think.
So how do these
I could be completely.
franchise
I
expect
could be completely wrong with saying
how do
that.
these franchises expect to make money by putting bad product on the court? You wonder why your games aren't on TNT and ESPN, who is ever holding the contract right now? You want to know why? It's because your team's ass and will continue to be ass until you actually make moves to change that. And I understand, like Sacramento, super small market, right? Super, one of the smallest markets in the league. Make them sell the team. Hey, you're doing a pretty dog shit job. I don't care that you're the owner. You represent the brand of the NBA, and the product you're putting on the court is trash.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do?
So I'll run through some of the proposals that have been floating around that they believe could potentially help. The first one is first round draft picks can only be protected for the top 4 or top 14 plus selections, not these super convoluted protections that they have currently. Um, no longer allowing a team to pick in the top 4 in consecutive years and or after consecutive bottom 3 finishes. Teams can't pick in the top 4 the year after making the conference finals.
See
Lottery
that
odds allocated on 2-year records. Lottery extended to include all play-in teams, or just flatten all lottery, like flatten the odds for all lottery teams, so everybody has the same odds, which I also don't think makes sense. I think what makes the most sense, and it's something that the PWHL actually does to avoid tanking, and that is, and it was created by this like super smart guy that went to some Ivy school, where essentially once a team becomes mathematically eliminated from postseason competition, they are then awarded points for wins. So in hockey, it's different because you get points. You would get a point
sure.
for a win. You would get 2 points for an overtime loss, and you would get no points for losing, type of thing. And then whichever team, so then these bad teams, you want to win, so then you have a
Your
better
odds go
chance.
up.
Exactly. Um, and I think that makes the most sense of anything, because while you might, like, for example, like the Pelicans this year, they didn't have high expectations coming in. Not like they didn't try and do anything. Like they were aggressive in the draft last year. They got Derek Queen, Jeremiah Fears. They got new management. Like, it seems like they have an idea in place, but obviously can't just happen overnight, right? Nobody really expected them to be good, but they become mathematically eliminated. And rather than now you're sitting Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, Zion, all of these starters, you continue to play them, which I think, one, for the Pelicans would increase their trade value going into the offseason if you do want to move off from them, but it also just builds that cohesion. So I think that makes the most sense without drastically like changing the entire system that we
So
currently
let
have.
me ask you this then. So let's say the Bulls, who are consistently right on that borderline of play in, not making the playoffs, right? Would they be hindered because maybe they aren't mathematically eliminated until the last 2 weeks of the season, whereas the Pelicans have been mathematically eliminated for the last 2 months? Or does that kind of even itself out? Because, yeah, the Pelicans will have more points after elimination, but they clearly need it more than the Bulls, who are competing for the playoff. Is that the idea?
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. I just want to make sure that made sense out loud, because in my head, it was really stirring up a ruckus there.
Yeah. So it would still favor the teams that are considered worse, because they
Gotcha.
would
And
just
then
have more opportunities to gain those points because they would have more games where have been mathematically eliminated.
So, do you have any idea of what the opposition to that system is?
No, I have no idea.
Like
Probably have to do.
who would be like, yeah, no, no thanks, I'm good. Because listen, you can tank and still end up with the fifth pick. You can win 10 games and you could still end up with a fifth pick.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't know. I don't even know how like a rule change happens in the NBA compared to like the NFL or something like that.
It's got to be ownership vote, right? It has to be.
I would imagine. Um. So who knows? I definitely think something will be put into place this offseason to try and address it. Whether or not it's just a band aid or a full on solution, um, we will come to find out.
Hey, seeing as we're talking about NBA draft, can we take a moment and it's been all over the place. We haven't addressed it yet, and I feel like as I was singing his praises, we might need to speak on it here. The current Darren Peterson situation.
Okay, can we be honest? I don't know if that dude likes playing basketball.
I, I I'm so confused by it. I'm so confused by it. It's the.
There's two ways I'm thinking
Go
about
ahead.
it right now. This dude either truly could not care less about basketball. Like it is like a side quest for him type of thing. Where it's like if I feel like it, I'll go out there and I'll drop an easy 20. But if anything feels off or I just don't feel like it, I'm just not going to play. Or
Do you,
the other side is he truly just thinks of college basketball as a stepping stone to the NBA. And if he had the opportunity, like they used to go straight from high school to the NBA, he would have chose that path. So it almost feels like in his mind, this is a waste of my time. I know I am better than this. Like I am ready to play in the NBA, and he's just biding his time and pretty much trying to avoid a catastrophic injury.
see,
Is the way I'm thinking of it.
and I understand the logic of it, but how do you, as a player who's hoping to go number one, and we're going to touch on that. I got a quote for you. I got to hit you with. But how am I a player who expects to go number one? How am I going to sell this to NBA GMs when I'm sitting in these interviews? Is it, yeah, I knew like I had to do it to get to this point, but now that I'm here, like I'm totally locked in. Okay, well, if I'm the GM and I take all the evidence of the last 12 months, that's not true. Do you love to win? Do you love to play this game? Can we give you a bag and you be the face of a franchise? Because whatever team he goes to, he may be the number one option, maybe the number two option, depending on the team. But like, how are you as a GM, as an owner, comfortable enough turning over the keys to the Lamborghini to the kid that doesn't want to be there, seemingly?
And the question I think is really there's going to be a lot of like back channel research and conversations that NBA teams are going to have with Kansas staff and people behind the scenes of truly like what his teammates think about him. Because obviously in the media right now, they're all talking ho hum, like they get along just fine, blah, blah, blah. Like they care for each other and everything. But is it really one of those things where they're saying that in the media, but then it's like a draft night scenario, like the movie Draft Night with Kevin Costner, and you have Bo Callahan.
Nobody went to his birthday party, bro.
Nobody went to his fucking birthday party. Nobody liked him. Is that what it is? And he's kind of just like secluding himself from the team.
And,
like I think that's gonna play into it a lot more than because I think from an NBA, like from a purely basketball standpoint, I still don't think he falls lower than 2. I don't know how you can. And the way I look at it, if I'm him, I say pull up the clip or pull up the game tape of Kansas versus BYU where I busted AJ DeBonce's ass for 20 points in the first half. And then I sat my ass on the bench the entire second half. That shows you everything.
But Bill Self, I think, is at a breaking point. And Bill Self's in an awful position with this whole thing. He knows what a talent Darren Peterson is. But he also has to coach this team and try to go win another national championship. And I think Kansas is built like that. I think that we're looking at a Final Four team again. Even without Peterson, I think they could probably do it.
This is a team that
And
beat
so,
Arizona without Darren Peterson back when Arizona was
mm-hmm,
undefeated #1 in the country.
mm-hmm.
But it
And
almost
so,
feels like they're stopping and going just consistently because they're just not sure of the availability that they are going to get with Darren Peterson. And when you get to the point, which I think you're about to get to, where it is this game is win and continue or lose and go home type of thing, you can't be having this like question every single game, hours leading up to it, of whether or not Darren Peterson's going to play, because the offense is completely different when he is playing compared to when he's not.
correct. And that can help you, right? But then again, if we're in March and maybe they have an agreement where it's like, hey, through the regular season, it is what it is. But like once we hit tournament time, if you're healthy, you got to play. So yet to be seen. We'll find out in the Big 12 tournament in a hurry. But Bill Self is in such a tough spot because I've got a basketball team to coach. I've got to coach 5 guys on the court every minute of that game. And Darren, if you're not out there, I can't worry about you because I have to worry about winning this. But at the same time, he's your superstar player. You want him to be a part of it. You at times have needed him to take over games. So, and you just look at Bill Self's demeanor, and I can't tell if he's just sick of the questions or if he's sick of the situation.
Yeah, I remember seeing a quote that he had um, just maybe like a week ago or so,
About
where
a week ago.
and he just asked the question almost in like a very like honest like way, where it's like, have I even really had the opportunity to coach you at this point? Like in
It's a fair
complete
question.
honesty, like he doesn't even feel like he's really had the opportunity to coach him or to help him improve in any facet.
Which is
Which,
crazy that he's that good. And Bill Self, who is one of the greatest basketball coaches to ever do it, I think we can all admit that. Imagine if this kid was head down, work hard, show up every day, do my job, and love the game and be a student of the game under Bill Self. Imagine where his game would be then. And imagine how locked he would be at one. Like there wouldn't be a conversation with Boozer and with AJ and maybe even Koa Pete, who is sliding. But you know what I mean? Like there wouldn't even be the conversation. It wouldn't be based on the team need in the top 3. It would be Darren Peterson is going to be the face of a franchise and absolutely carry this team. Reason I bring this up is this: his dad decided to open his mouth today about this whole situation.
never good.
And this is what we're dealing with here. And a little bit of this with me was like, So here's a quote: you can't pray for rain, then complain about the mud. This season has taught so many life lessons to prepare Darren and our family for what he's about to go through, being the #1 pick and the future face of somebody's franchise and the league. That's a very bold assumption for a man whose son is being questioned by a lot of people right now and who is not the clear-cut best player in the country right now. He absolutely can be, but AJ and Cam Boozer are having something to say about it. And I'm not a big AJ fan. I know you've got some issues with AJ as well, that we were worried about maybe a little bit of the attitude. Maybe he's not actually doing as much. But when the post-game presser, and he said, if I got to go out there and play 40 minutes to win, I'm going to play 40 minutes to win. And that was a shot at Darren Peterson.
Oh yeah, he is trying to be the polar opposite of what
Yep.
Darren Peterson is at this point. And I'll be
Yep.
honest, AJ DeBonce's game has grown on me the more I've been able to watch it this year. If he can develop a reliable jumper with everything else that he's capable of doing right now currently, he could be a top 5 player in this league. No questions asked.
And I don't want to make this comparison, but who does that sound like?
I think you have a name, so I'm ready for it.
LeBron. And again, I don't want to put AJ on that pedestal, but we were sitting here about how athletic and how powerful and how great at the basket and defensively LeBron was in high school. But what did he lack? A jumper. And what did he lack the first 5 to 7 years in the league? He struggled with jumpers. Like there's no question. He wasn't a great 3-point shooter, still isn't the greatest 3-point shooter, but has figured it out over time, which obviously, right? You play for 20 some odd years, you're going to figure it out. I don't want to draw the comparison, but I'm saying that is how people spoke about LeBron coming out of high school. And
You,
their games are fairly similar.
you know, the person I would compare to would be a larger Anthony Edwards, where Anthony Edwards was a true bucket getter at Georgia. Not as good of a passer, probably not as good of a rebounder, probably a little bit better on defense, but
Mm-hmm.
he didn't shoot. He wasn't super efficient shooting the ball at Georgia, and then he wasn't super efficient the first year or two in the NBA. Um, but then ever since, he has become one of the best high volume 3-point shooters in the entire league, on top of being one of the best athletes in the entire NBA. And that's like, that could be AJ DeBonza in a couple years if he does the same thing, where he
Yep.
can win truly based off his talent early. But if he really wants to take that next upper upper echelon all NBA level like step, the jumper's gonna have to come. Which, when you're a player of that capability or of that caliber, I have no doubt he probably can do that.
And roll back to Anthony Edwards here. You know what I think was like the best thing for Anthony Edwards shooting wise? I think it was being a part of Team USA and being around Steph Curry. Truthfully, I think that had an effect because after that, all of a sudden Ant's shooting improved. And I don't know necessarily, and I'm sure Steph gave him a couple tips and tricks, right? But just being around somebody who is that elite in that aspect of the game maybe it made Ant sit back and go, oh, I got to step my game up like that. I want to be able to hit those shots. And ever since, he's hit some big time threes.
Yeah, I think it is a little bit before that, because he's been a pretty high volume 3-point shooter now for mm, 4 or 5 years now, pretty much since his second year in the league. Um, and I think it's been more of a byproduct of Chris Finch being in his ear and being like, to truly take that next step, you need to develop this element of your game to truly scare people, right? Um, and I think that's when he started like really putting an emphasis upon it.
I'll give credit to Steph.
That's fine.
Legend of the game.
Since we're still talking NBA, you want to do a little thought experiment with me, so I can kind of
Oh,
get an idea of where your head's at,
sure.
and I want you to kind of do like a tier ranking of NBA teams,
All right,
each conference,
let's
just to
see.
kind of
Let's see what we
see
got.
compared to like records and whatnot, if you think they're kind of underperforming but could be higher, So do the typical like what S S tier, A tier, B tier, S tier, obviously being like your NBA champion. Um, let's say A tier is conference finals caliber, so on and so forth.
All
Right.
right, I think I might be able to ride with that.
Okay. And I'll pipe in where I might be have some disagreements. Do you want to start Eastern Conference? Or you want to do Western Conference
Let's
first?
start in the East.
Okay. So we'll start. I'll just go in the order of the current standings. So up first, or I'll start from the bottom. Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, without Giannis, it's a real low tier. So what are we going? A, B, C.
DF.
Yeah, we're going way down. Yeah, they're falling in that DE range, right? They're not a terrible team, but without Giannis, they are clearly missing something, and I think it's just going to continue to slide and slide and slide. So they're not real high.
I will say they are a little bit more interesting now that they went and got Cam Thomas and Osman Dang on the buyout market or through trades or whatever at the deadline, because in the first couple games before their All-Star break, they were pretty solid. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, and they're playing more team basketball, which is a lot more fun for Milwaukee Buck fans.
Yeah. Okay. How about the Charlotte Hornets?
I want to give them credit, but I don't want to give them too much credit, right?
Do you think that
Uh,
if they make the play in, and let's say they make it into the playoffs as the
mhm,
8th seed, maybe
sure.
pose it this way: could they make Detroit sweat a little bit? Could they win a game or two? Let's start there.
Yes. I think we have to view them right now as the Magic 2 years, a year ago, right? Where it's young, it's fun, it's fast. I want to put them in like a B tier, to be honest with you. They're not an elite team, but this is a team on the rise. I think this is a team that can make the playoffs. I think this is a team that could steal one away from Detroit um, at home. That environment has become such a fun thing for NBA fans as a whole, both for Charlotte fans and visiting teams. Like the environment's there now. So yeah, give me them stealing one against Detroit, provided they get there.
And
I don't know if they'll win two.
And I will correct you though. Since the turn of the year, they have been arguably a top 5 team in the entire NBA. Like if you were to extrapolate,
I'm saying that they are flying. I'm not going to put them in the A tier yet,
no,
so I'm okay with a B.
But I think they could be a lot scarier come playoff time.
I think the lack of experience. Now that Detroit's been there, I think experience comes in huge. Those are some bright lights in the playoffs.
Also, how electric would that be? A Charlotte Hornets and Detroit Pistons first round matchup after the
Give
brawl?
it to me. Give it to me.
Okay,
That's what it's what the NBA wants. It's what the NBA needs.
It's what I want. It's what I need.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
how about the Atlanta Hawks?
Oh, Atlanta. Oh, Atlanta. Truthfully, I thought they were cooked when they traded Trey. They're battling. What are they at? 28 wins?
28
right?
and 31.
Yeah. They're C tier. I just don't know the identity of them. I just don't know yet as a whole, right? And they must have a master plan and where they want to be at next year and what they plan to do in free agency. I don't even know if they're going to make the play in, to be honest with you. I feel like there's a hiccup coming for them. And a lot of that has to do with not quite having that guy that can absolutely take over a game for you.
How about the Miami Heat?
Miami should have made the damn move for Giannis. Just throwing that out there. They're C tier as well. They're making the play in. They like to surprise us in postseason, don't they? They like to sneak up on us. And that's a shout out to Eric Spoelstra. I hated Eric Spoelstra for a long time. Hated him. Mad respect to Eric Spoelstra. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I am very indifferent to the Miami Heat. They'll make the play in, probably lose first round. Like there's just nothing exciting about Miami basketball right now.
No, they gotta find something there. They gotta find. I don't know if it's a player like they go out and get a super duper star, or if they go out and get two guys who are really finding their path in the NBA and they just mesh really well into that team.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, next, staying in Florida, the Orlando Magic.
Orlando Magic. Finally, right?
We were a little bit worried about them. Starting to figure it out.
Yeah, and listen, they have the experience, but the youth is going to be fading quickly for them, I think. Their guys are getting not old, but older, which I think helps with the experience. I'm going to put them in the B tier just because I believe there's a little piece of that last year. There's a little piece that I'm holding on to as a fan, and I want them to be fun, and I want them to be successful. So it's a low B tier, but it's a B tier.
I can't do it. Or I don't
You put him in a
think that
C.
I don't think Paulo and Franz can play on the same team. This is the third or fourth straight year when you can see literally like when they're both on the court together, they're bad. And when Paulo's out there without Franz, it's bad. And when Franz is out there without Paulo, it's really good. And I am starting, the more I think about it, because if you think about it, like the run of first round picks that we've had recently has been pretty damn crazy. Where you've had Anthony Edwards, you've had Cade Cunningham, Cooper Flag, Victor Wembanyama, but then you have Paulo, which almost sucks at the same time, where it's like he comes out of the draft and you have these such like high expectations of what he can be, and I feel like we've seen flashes of it, but then you're in this dilemma where you get to the point where, because I think rookie deals are what, 4 years or something in the NBA, where
With the team option.
you get through the first 4 years and you're like, I think he's pretty good, and now you have to decide whether or not to throw him a ginormous bag, which they did, and now you're sitting here, it's like, well, did I make the right decision, or is this like a sunk cost now, you know?
No, I think they made the right decision. Let me throw this at you then: Wagner or Paulo? If you had to make a move off of one of them this year,
Based off everything you see on the court and all the advanced analytics of it, you have to pick Franz, which may not feel right because he wasn't the number one overall pick, but he's been the better player in the NBA since they've come in.
see, and I think the opposite. I think Paulo's your guy. I think Paulo has more. God, what's the word I'm looking for here? More potential to be a top five player in the NBA.
But how long of a runway are you going to give him to reach
they're
that
at that
potential?
point where, with how long these guys are playing the NBA, another year or two. To be honest with you, you've paid him. Let him keep going, and maybe the emphasis has to be, okay, if Paulo's our guy, or if Wagner's our guy, then we have to build around that exactly, and how to make that player better as a whole. They tried doing it. They tried to address the need. We can kick back to that Desmond Bain situation. He's shooting his lowest 3-point career percentage, by the way.
That he is. But at the same
Yeah,
time,
that one didn't work
Paulo
out. So
hasn't been able to stay healthy. And you could argue he's gotten worse or less efficient the last 2 years. We're going on year 4 in the NBA already. And I know he's only 23.
The efficiency, I agree with you.
But look at Jalen Johnson. He's going on year 3, and you can see the ginormous leap. He's damn near averaging a triple-double this year. Like, it just feels like he has not taken a step. Paulo has not taken a step in recent years. Like, it kind of feels like
you think that's on the player or the coach?
I think that's on the player. I think at a point, like, a piece of me thinks like the Paulo Banchero that we are seeing on the court right now is the Paulo Banchero that we're gonna have. It's gonna be really, the way I see it, like,
he's still so young, dude.
The best case scenario I can see for him is like Julius Randle.
He's still so young, though. I mean, he hasn't even fully matured as an adult male yet.
But for those all NBA level players, right? You know by now, after 4 years in the league, I don't care how old you are, you kind of know if they are going to get to that next level. Like, I think we can both sit here and be like, Cooper Flag is going to be All NBA in just a
Yes.
couple of years, right? Jalen Johnson will be an All NBA player in a couple of years. How many players do we know that truly don't break out from that middling like All Star to All NBA tier after the age of 25?
Yeah. Not often, if ever, right?
Exactly.
I just
I guess is what I'm trying to
oh,
like get at. Like it feels really wrong to say, like when you think about it, because you're like, you look at him, he's like, this guy should be like really good at basketball, but then it just doesn't like carry over at all.
Isaiah's the same guy that goes up to a 6'10" guy who's just minding his damn business in the grocery store. Goes, "You're really tall. Did you play basketball?" Of course he played basketball.
Yeah. And the only reason I do that is more so I just want to know
No,
how tall they
I
actually are.
when you're looking up, I'm like, "Hello, sir."
Exactly. Okay. Should we get back to the thought exercise we were on? That was a tangent.
Yeah, should we switch over to the West?
I mean, we only got through 5 teams in the East. We didn't even get to the upper level ones.
Listen, the upper level is the upper level, my friend. Those are mostly going to be A and Bs, except for maybe one.
Well, okay. Think of it more as like, do you think it's a true NBA contender, a true like Eastern Conference contender, or are we talking
Okay,
round 1 or 2 and they're done?
all right.
Like,
Well,
how
go ahead,
scared?
hit me with
Like,
the
are
East.
you scared of these teams? Are you excited
We're
for these
switching the
teams?
thought now. All right,
Yes. If you're
let's
thinking too
do
much
it.
of a,
Run it.
you're thinking too much of in a box. Get outside the box.
What's in the
Think about
box?
it. Okay. The Sixers.
I'm taking the Sixers as a first round exit.
Okay,
I
Raptors.
that's in that C tier. That's in that tier of I don't think it's there. I think they're competitive. I just don't see them making a run in the playoffs.
Okay. Cavs.
That's a team now. That's a team now.
But how
And
good do you
again, I know
think?
the Harden thing. God, I just you think about what they've been able to accomplish. And again, with James Harden, it just throws everything a little bit off from what we've known about these Cavs.
Remember,
They could be.
Donovan
Go
Mitchell's
ahead.
never made it to an Eastern Conference final. Ever
I
made it to a
know,
conference
know,
finals.
and I wonder if this is the time. Part of me wants to say they're going to play for the Eastern Conference final title.
I will die on this ledge, and I'm more than happy to be wrong in the future about it. But I will continually pick against the Cleveland Cavaliers until they actually do it one time. You know what I mean?
Sure,
Like,
sure.
I just have no confidence. Like, something will go wrong. It's just how I view them at this point. And I don't know if it's a Donovan
The,
Mitchell thing or if it's just like a Cleveland Cavaliers thing, but I'd rather have cake on my face when they actually do it than sit here confidently saying that they will do it. You know what I mean?
the Buffalo Bills of the NBA.
Kind of. But do you think Eastern Conference Finals? Potentially. They have the potential.
Yes, I think they could absolutely make it to the conference finals.
Okay. But not NBA contenders.
No, I don't. I don't think so.
Okay. New York Knicks.
Might be a contender.
Like
Might
true title contender?
Yeah, and I think it's because Jalen Brunson seems like he's a man on an absolute mission this year. You're not hearing about him. There's nothing in the media about it. It's just Jalen Brunson's going out there and trying to absolutely win every game he's playing in. I think that mentality can get you there.
I think essentially everything I just said about the Cavs, I kind of push over to the Knicks as well.
Sure, I get that. I understand where that comes from. It's because it's a goddamn Knicks.
It's the goddamn Knicks. Celtics, who may be welcoming Jason Tatum back a whole lot sooner than a lot of people expected.
Would you want to have him? Would you want to insert him into what they have going right now? I know he's a great player.
I don't know how you can say no to adding Jason Tatum in whatever role. And I think it's different like adding him to a team like the Boston Celtics where the organization is so well ran and this is a group of players that have played together for a good minute type of thing where it's not like they've never played with him before. So I
Sure.
think they'd be able to make it work.
It's going to take my issue is how late in the year it is. Well, sorry, will he be back before playoffs or he would be back for the playoffs?
It sounds like he may be back sometime in March.
Okay. I would feel a little more differently about that then because at least he can shake the rust off in games that really don't matter. You're going to make the playoff. It might matter for seeding, but you know what I mean? Like, I feel more comfortable about putting Jason Tatum in, but they're playing good basketball in Boston, man.
Mm-hmm. NBA title contenders, Eastern Conference final contenders.
With Tatum at 80%, I think they can make a finals run. The problem is they're going to run into the team we're about to say next.
That's the Detroit Pistons. Sounds like you are feeling away.
I'm in. I'm bought in. I hate it as a Bulls fan that I'm saying it. And I'll be honest with you. Like, that rivalry doesn't mean too much for me. I was a big Tayshaun Prince, Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, Chauncey Billups fan. Big fan of that team. So it's hard for me to sit here and like hold on to that. But Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart, like this is a team that is built where they're maybe not elite in every facet, but they cover every facet of the game and they cover it well. And I think they're going to have the legs for it. I think they've got some experience now, and I think Cade Cunningham is ready to put the league on notice of like, hey, I'm here, and you're going to have to go through Detroit for a good long while.
It's a fun, gritty team to watch. That's for sure. I think the thing that may come back and bite them, though, is the lack of three-point shooting, or at least the consistency from three-point range. They're one of the worst teams from behind the arc.
Well,
which
who didn't they make a move at the deadline? Who'd they get? For shoot. Oh, they got Hoyter. Which they're really hoping that he figures it out. He hasn't quite yet. He's done better than he was with the Bulls, right?
Yeah, but still, I don't even with him. I don't know if that will be enough.
And you just need him to come in and knock him down at the right time is a big thing for him.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Western Conference.
Think
outside of your box here. Could this team win games in the playoffs if they make it?
All right.
The Clippers.
No, fuck the Clippers.
Trailblazers.
Do they even win in the play-in? I don't know.
I don't know. You tell me. Would they beat the Clippers in a game?
I want to say yes because if they're playing the Clippers, fuck the Clippers.
Okay, if they beat the Clippers, would they beat the Warriors or the Suns?
Swept.
Well, they only play one game, so you don't think they would beat them?
Oh yeah, no, they don't.
Okay, so you're not worried about them.
No,
not really. How about the Golden State Warriors?
Yeah, I think they. God, I don't want to put them in the finals. I don't know that they're going to make the Western Conference Finals.
If they make it in, it's most likely in the play-in, so they're 7 or 8 seed. Can they beat the Thunder Spurs in the first round?
Probably.
I need to start framing them like this for you.
Probably. Well, my brain's going a million miles an hour. You're throwing a lot at me here. Probably not. But then again, it is really hard to bet against Steph Curry, isn't it?
Not in recent years, no.
I still think it's hard to bet against the guy. So, but no, I don't think they could beat either one of them.
Okay, how about the Phoenix Suns?
Oh, these Suns! These Suns.
Fun team. Dylan Brooks though is out for a month or two, broken hand.
Yeah. Could they surprise us and get to the conference finals? I think they absolutely could. Do I think it's likely? Probably not. They'll be formidable in the playoffs, but I don't. God, there's something missing there. Doesn't it feel that way? Like they're just missing something on that team.
Yeah, and it might just be we're not hearing as much about them because there's not as much turnover going on there this year. They kind of been operating in the shadows.
Yeah, no KD, no headlines, right?
Yeah. How about my Minnesota Timberwolves?
Brother.
You don't have to tell me.
Oh, yeah. I want to throw it to you, and I want to hear what you have to say because can they get there? Can they get over the hump? Can they get there?
So this is a team that has made it to back-to-back Western Conference Finals with largely the same roster in both years. I think they have the capability, and it always feels like once we get to playoff time, that's when we lock in. Like we have a lot of stretches during the regular season where it seems like we get very complacent and it just looks really ugly and you start questioning a whole lot of things. But then we get to the playoffs and we're locked the fuck in and we look like a juggernaut, at least for the first couple of rounds. And I'm going to hold true to that sentiment because I still think when we are playing at our best, we are a top 3 team. It's just we haven't been able to see that for long stretches this season.
Yeah, and they're getting older. Rudy's health has been up and down this year. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
No, I think he's been a little bit healthy for the most part.
Has he? Okay. But nonetheless, arrogant. Like Julius is getting older. Rudy's getting older. These are just the realities of it. Do these guys still have the legs for that type of run? Because this. I don't think you guys are clean sweeping, folks. I don't think you're only losing one game. I think the West is going to be quite a few game 6, game 7s. I think we're going to see quite a few game 7s in the playoffs for the West. So you are right. They come alive in the nighttime, don't they? I mean, so there it is. I'm glad you picked up on that. Thank you.
You set me up.
Oh, it's duh. I know what I'm doing here. Yeah. God, it's hard to pick against them. Can they go to 3 straight Western Conference Finals? I think they absolutely could. I just don't know that they're going to get over the hump.
Yeah, it's hard to put them as true NBA final or title contenders, just purely based off the teams that they would have to beat in the Western Conference just to get there.
Yeah, there's 3 of them in there that'll cut your head off.
How about the Lakers?
Lakers, yeah, Luka's playing great. Defensively, he is still a nightmare, and I think you have to play great defense. What?
And the fact that they'll have to play both him and LeBron,
yeah,
on defense come playoff time. That I, based solely on that, I'm putting no faith in them whatsoever.
I don't think they're a conference finals team. I mean, Austin Reeves is going to be running around praying for a break because he's going to be the only defender out there.
I think they lose first round. Completely
Ooh.
honest.
Ooh. That's a hot little take that I don't hate.
I mean, you think about it, right now, if season ends today, they play Nuggets in the first round.
Yeah, let me introduce you to Nikola Jokic.
They have no answer for him.
No.
I don't.
No.
So.
Defense wins championships. It's proven.
What about the Nuggets?
Yeah, I mean, they're just consistent. They are doing what they always do, and they're going to continue what they're going to do. Yeah, conference finals, if not, and it just depends on their ability against the Thunder. I think they absolutely could go to the finals this year. I think some things are going to fall in their favor.
I would put them as true title contenders. When you have arguably the best player in the world, I'll give you that. The benefit of the doubt on that one.
They're just so consistent in what they do.
Their thing is more so just get to the playoffs healthy, and then let's see what happens. Because Jokic has been battling some injuries recently. So they haven't been playing at full health. Just get to the playoffs healthy. See what happens.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they care for. How about the Rockets?
Long, lean, like to shoot the basketball. Could play for the conference finals. I don't think they're a true contender. I think they could absolutely play and lose in the conference finals. But then again, part of me thinks it wouldn't shock me if they were a first round exit on some fluke, and now we're sitting here saying, "Oh shit! Like what happened?" That feels almost more likely than them going to the NBA finals.
That's exactly what I was going to say. And that is without even mentioning the fact that KD's newest burner account might have been uncovered at NBA All Star Weekend, where he was bashing on his teammates, which could truly have very negative impacts in the locker room for the rest of the season.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
they would be, of the top three teams in either conference, I think they are the most likely to lose in round one.
Yeah, yeah. I think again that is far more likely than them making the NBA finals.
How about the San Antonio Spurs?
I think you and I both love this team. At least
I'm
I
starting.
do. I really
I'm
like.
starting to love this team.
I love this team. De'Aaron Fox. I love De'Aaron Fox on this team.
But it's not fair because I feel like I went on this whole like thing with the Patriots when they were making their run to the Super Bowl. It's like you had your time. Like you've won enough.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should be saying the same thing about the Spurs. You've won enough. Stop.
Yeah. I tell you what, they're deeper than you think they are, and I think that's going to play well for them. They're a contender, I think, and it is because of the depth. Obviously, like your starting five is an electric starting five. It's young. Wemby, as long as he's healthy, is absolutely the centerpiece as he should be. But I think even like and when I talk about depth, guys like Keldon Johnson, guys like Luke Cornett, like they're going to be huge contributing factors,
Harrison Barnes.
especially if Harrison Barnes. Yeah, obviously. Come on, Harry. Come on, Ames kid. Shout out Ames. But I think like when you have to play the multiple kind of shift changes that come with playing the Thunder, you're going to be looking to those guys to come in and be super impactful, and I think they can. Also, shout out Dylan Harper, huh? Shout out to Dylan Harper. I like this kid. I think there's really something there, and I like the role that they've got him playing.
And then lastly, the OKC Thunder.
If Denver falls before they get to the Thunder are going back to the NBA Finals. I think the Thunder are the most likely team for me. The Spurs are right there, but I think Denver knows what they're getting into against OKC. I think we talked about this is going to be the matchup for quite some time, for the next couple of years, for as long as Jokic is playing. So, yeah, they are true title contenders, as they should be, as they absolutely should be.
If you had to guess right now, which team, who's your title winner today, February 24th?
NBA Finals?
Yeah.
It's OKC, but in my heart, I want to root for the Detroit Pistons to go do something special.
Okay. One thing I forgot when we were talking about the tanking is the hypocritical nature of the fucking OKC Thunder that are calling up tattletaling on the NBA because the Jazz are tanking and the Thunder get their first round pick if it falls out of the top 4 or 8 or something like that. Otherwise it turns into like a second round pick or some shit like that. Coming from that is so hypocritical, coming from a team that tanked for how many years and then just got really lucky in terms of the Shea trade and hitting on all of these draft picks that they accumulated over the years. It is very rich to hear it from that franchise.
Sam Presti, you have enough picks. Stop. You have it. You have enough. Stop being greedy.
That shit really, really pissed me off. I don't know why. Okay. That's NBA. Um,
Oh, did we want to hit on number 4 for you over there?
Number 4, the expansion, NBA expansion. You want to touch on it? I feel like
Yeah,
it's a
because
foregone conclusion at this point where we're gonna get a team in Seattle. We're gonna get the Supersonics back, and then we're gonna get a team in Vegas. I feel like if it's not one of those two cities, it will be a complete shock to everybody because those are the two cities that have been pushed the most. Which then means somebody currently in the Western Conference most likely has to swap over. Well, not most likely, will have to swap over to the Eastern Conference, and I'm hoping and praying it is the
it's
fucking
T
Minnesota
Wolves.
Timberwolves so we can get out of this goddamn Western Conference because it is a fucking death march every single year in the playoffs, and it will be for the foreseeable future. So, fingers crossed on that one.
I love Seattle. I love the idea of the Supersonics coming back. I think that's a city that absolutely didn't deserve what happened to them, and I think they deserve to have it back. And I think you want to talk about fandom in Seattle. Look at the 12 for the Seahawks. Look at how they turned out for the Mariners in the playoffs. I think Seattle's one of the. It's a sports city, man. It's a city that is just so culturally awesome, and I think sports are at a huge core piece of that. Give me the Supersonics back, and do me a favor. Opening tip, opening night, bring Gary back out there. Put Gary back out there in some way and make it real special. Vegas, on the other hand, I could give a flying rip if I don't want any more Vegas nonsense. I think this Vegas market thing is bastardizing sports, and I kind of hate it. The only Vegas team that I'm a fan of the idea of was the Vegas Knights, and I think that worked out really, really well. Hated the Raiders move there. Hate the Oakland A's move there. I will never refer to them as the Vegas A's. I'm tired of Vegas. When's Vegas going to get played out?
I don't know. I kind of like the thought of Vegas.
I'd rather have a team in Nashville being that close to Indiana, really a lifeblood. And I know they won't pull Pacer fans, but you're close enough. I think Nashville, I would rather have a team in Nashville than Vegas.
I feel like Kansas City would have been a reasonable pick too. I feel like
I would.
it's so like cleared out in the middle part. Like you have Denver, and you got OKC, and you got Minnesota, and it creates a super big like triangle. And between them to Indiana, there's like nothing. There is nothing. You know,
Yeah. And again, you want to talk about an amazing sports city with an incredible fandom. Look at Chiefs Kingdom. Look at what the Royals do when they're a competitive team. That city is buzzing. Let them have an NBA team. I'd be cool with that over Nashville too.
but when, not if, but when they do expand, do you think that there's enough NBA caliber players to have 32 NBA teams? Because that would be adding 28 roster spots.
Yes, I do. And I think it's because of what Europe has produced for the last 5 years, last 8 years, right? I think there's enough talent in Europe that we are now getting to see in NCAA basketball where there are enough. Now, is it going to be these ultra competitive teams? No, not initially. Like they'll get there over time, right? But I think in order to put those teams out there, I think there's enough talent. I think they could get away with doing it.
I'd be really interested to see how expansion drafts, because obviously I, you were probably a little bit older, but probably still don't remember last time the NBA had expansion drafts, um, and what that kind of looks like. Because with the amount of drama that the NBA has, televising the expansion draft could be so juicy to
Yeah,
see
and,
what
and
players don't get protected and everything. Ooh,
yeah, give me that. I'm cool with that. That's the
I
shit
want,
we want to watch as fans.
I want all of that. Think of some of the players that don't get protected.
some
You're gonna
names
roll.
would be. I mean, you would put together some decent NBA rosters. Not great, not good, decent NBA rosters. Probably good enough to beat the damn Kings.
The kid, there's the tweets going around about the expansion drafts, and teams are going around like picking up players, and the Kings are like, "You can have any of them.
We're not protecting a single guy.
You
Take your
can
pick.
whichever one you want,
You want Zach LaVine? Take him. You want
please,
DeMar? Take him.
please." Yeah, that's really all
But
I
give me
got.
the Supersonics. If the Bulls continue to fail me as they have, maybe now's the time, huh? I'm not switching teams, but
And can they actually get the fucking history of the Supersonics? I've never, for the fucking life of me, understood like the OKC, like all of the old Supersonics records stay with
or OKC
OKC,
records. Yeah, I hate that.
or
But I
like
can't talk
even
because of the Titans.
even like the Pelicans. Technically, they are the old Charlotte Hornets, so they have all of like that history with them, and then the now Charlotte Hornets have the Charlotte Bobcats history.
Yeah.
Technically, none of that shit makes sense. It should
No.
stay with
And
the city.
Gary Payton's record should be hanging in Seattle, not in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Right? Sean Kemp, yes. Bill Walton, Supersonic.
Wait, the question, because I think OKC's only retired one number, and that's Nick Collison's number, who spent time
Sure.
with the
Yep.
Thunder and the Supersonics. Supersonics get a franchise back. Does he get his number retired there too? Out of principle?
I'm gonna say no. But like Gary Payton should go back. Which is a weird way to say it. No, if you give to Gary, you gotta give to Nick. So hang them in both. Hang them in both.
Did they not get retired already? Let's see if Supersonics had any numbers retired. Supersonics retired numbers. Let's see if there's any. Dominique Wilkins' number was retired with the Hawks.
They retired Dominique's number?
Are you thinking of Sean Kemp?
That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah, not Dominique Wilkins.
No, I know Dominique. I guess I thought Dominique would have been a Trailblazers retirement.
Number 1 was retired in honor of the fans. Number 10 for Nate McMillan, a key player and coach. Number 32 for Jack Sikma. Sikma.
Sick my nuts.
Sorry. Number 40 for Gus Williams. Number 43 for Sean Kemp. Number 35 in tribute to the great Kevin Durant. At least that's what AI says.
Yeah, KD. Yeah, God, when it's all said and done, what would be the jersey hanging on Kevin Durant's bust? If they did that, if he had to pick one, what would it be? It has to be OKC, right?
I feel like it would have to be. You would just have to go in as like how they do in the MLB, where it's just the MLB logo. I can't think of KD
I get
as,
that,
like,
but I'm saying
purely from one particular team.
I think if I had to pick, it'd be OKC.
Probably. Best stretch game with Golden State.
Give me the Seattle Supersonics back. I'll pick them as my Western Conference team. Give them to me.
Okay. I'll give them to you. You can have them. That's fine.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Been recording for an hour 23. Anything? You said you had some topics you wanted to bring up. So I'll give you the floor if you want to bring those up.
Oh. Really, the Darren Peterson thing, I'm glad we hit on. That was a big one for me. Can we go back to the Olympics? Because there is a wild story that we missed.
Maybe.
I'm going to take you to the women's biathlon. You familiar with the event?
I am one of the funniest Olympic sports there is.
Have you heard any of this about the controversy of the French women in the biathlon this year?
No, missed
Okay,
it.
so the French have a woman by the name of Julia Simon, right?
Okay.
Julia comes in silver in the 12.5 kilometer race. And in the 15 kilometer race, she takes gold and she beats her teammate, Jean Monnet Lou. Okay?
Okay.
Stay with, or Lou Jean Monnet, I think is what it is. So two Frenchmen at the top of the 15K. Here's the backstory on these two. Julia Simon was arrested and
Oh,
convicted on charges
yeah.
of of stealing a credit card and utilizing that in a fraudulent manner. And the credit card belonged to her teammate who she just beat. Mind you, Julia Simon got a suspended 3-year sentence, a $30,000 or 30 euro thousand euro fine. What the fuck? How did we
And
not
wasn't
talk? How has nobody like brought this to light? She stole her teammate's credit card, used it, essentially got off after committing what would be probably a felony in the States, and then has to be her teammate and beats her in both the 12 and a half and 15K races. If I'm Lou Jean Monnet, I'm taking a ski to the I'm gonna what's that skater back in the day?
Tanya
I'm gonna take
Harding?
it to the side of I'm gonna Tanya Harding that bitch. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Is this
Well,
real?
was wasn't she not even like she was banned from competing in the Olympics until like
Yeah, and they got an
just a couple
exception.
yeah, just a couple weeks before. Yeah.
How pissed if you're Lou Jean Monnet, how furious are you?
That is just a double doozy. Not
I'm
only
renouncing
did she
citizenship.
fraud you out of all that money, then she goes and kicks your ass for gold
Like
twice.
like I just oh how can
Like there like we grew up a lot
she's a
where
bad person.
we thought a lot about like rivalries and like whatnot, and I've always kind of been like, I don't think people truly hate each other more often than not. No, there was probably true hatred when talking about these two. Like they are
Oh yeah.
at least one way. One is hoping for very very bad things on the other.
Tanya Harding her ass. And I think generally the world would agree that it is totally justified because the French legal system failed you as a victim with this bullshit. And then she comes out. I just, if I'm the French, international sports committee, how do you let her compete?
Yeah.
Yeah, that really
Uh,
grinded my gears. I heard that story and I'm like, how did everyone miss this? This should be front page news.
I love that though. Only in the Winter Olympics you get a story like that.
Seriously.
So we saved it until the end of today's show, but hit you with some notable number 43s in
Oh,
honor
yeah,
of
43s. Yes,
episode
yes, yes.
43.
I,
Starting
I
off,
have one to mind.
obviously, Troy Polamalu, 2-time Super Bowl champ, 8-time Pro Bowler, 4-time first team All Pro, 2-time second team All Pro, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2020. Dennis Eckersley, one of the greatest relief pitchers of all time. Baseball Hall of Fame, 6-time All Star, won the MVP and Cy Young in the same year as a reliever, which is pretty fucking unheard of. Also a World Series champion. One of my favorite, low key, Darren Sproles,
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you hit it.
3-time Pro Bowl selection. Also was a 2-time All Pro, mainly due to his return capabilities. He racked up 64 total touchdowns in his NFL career. For a dude that is, what, 5'8"? That is very impressive.
The king of Manhattan, they say.
And then, funny enough, a player that we just recently talked about, Jack Sikma of the Seattle Supersonics, 7-time All Star. He's in the NBA Hall of Fame. A couple more NFL. We got Larry Brown,
Thank you.
2-time first team All Pro, NFL MVP back in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Cliff Harris of the Dallas Cowboys, Hall of Famer, 6-time Pro Bowler, 4-time first team All Pro. Couple more basketball. Michael Thomas, Klay Thompson's dad, wore number 43, 2-time
Oh,
NBA champ. And then Brad Daughtry, who, funny enough, like when I think of Brad Daughtry, he was a 5-time NBA All Star. I am pretty positive this is the dude I grew up when I would watch Sports Center would do NASCAR like analysis along with whatever the frick the guy's name is.
sorry, PD's coming for me. You hear this?
I do. Des
Whoop,
Moines
whoop.
up to no good.
Hey, the sweet lullabies of Des Moines. I don't know. You may have said it in the beginning. The name that I've got, R.A. Dickey wore 43.
Did he? Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
What might be the last true knuckleballer we ever see in our lifetimes.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to and R.I.P. to Tim Wakefield for being the best knuckleballer we've ever seen.
Remember that season that R.A. Dickey randomly won a Cy Young award?
And just made everybody look absolutely foolish.
Just out of nowhere. As a 37-year-old.
Did you ever hear the story of why he became a knuckleballer?
No, probably not.
He had such tremendous issues after his surgeries in his elbow with velocity because he was a normal pitcher, and they were like, "Oh, you ever try throwing a knuckleball?" And he's like, "Screw it, I'll give it a go." And all of a sudden, hey, here's a Cy Young, big fella.
Hell yeah, love that.
Hell yeah.
Love a good little redemption. But those are the 43s that I got for you.
Yeah, I didn't have very many you really hit. I was worried when Darren Sproles wasn't the first one out of your mouth, and then you said Troy, and I was like, "Oh, Troy Palma did wear 43."
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yep. But I'm glad you threw Darren in there. One of the most elite punt returners in NFL history. I'll give him that.
No doubt about that one. Any shout outs from your side?
If you've got one, go ahead. I think I've got one, but I want to look something up real quick.
I don't really have anything top of mind. Like I said, not a ton of sports going on recently. So I guess a shout out to shout out Miami, Ohio. They continue to won again today. So
Put them in.
They are now 28-0, and it seems like they are guaranteed at least an at-large as long as their one loss comes in the conference tournament.
Put them in. Dude, I don't even care if they lose one or two games. Put them in. There's no sense in not putting them in. Where is okay?
That's what I got.
All right. Here's what I'm shouting out. All right, we're gonna kick it to Oklahoma Baptist University men's basketball. Okay, you ready for this? It's a D2 school. Okay, They got a center, Big E, Eric Madrid. Okay, take a guess how big Big E is.
If you're posing it like that, fuck, it could be actually two ways. Like it's either going to be somebody that is extremely tall or somebody that is extremely short. And
Big E.
Big E. I'm going extremely short. This dude's 5'4".
He is 7'4", and they have him listed at 375. But I watched a couple clips.
Oh, so
he's over 400 pounds.
Oh, so they gave him the nickname Big E not because he is fucking tall. It's because he could eat Shaquille O'Neal.
Dude, and he's playing D2 basketball, and I don't want to sit here and knock D2 basketball. But for a perfect example, Oklahoma Baptist, one of their forwards is 6'4". Where's their other center? Another forward is 6'3", 6'5", 6'7", 6'7", and then you got Big E Eric Madrid at 7'4". Again, listed 375. He looks like he's 400 pounds.
I'm going to assume he doesn't average more than 25 minutes a game.
Well, let me pull that up for you. I just had it here a moment ago. Big E this year is averaging 30. He played 32 minutes at the end of January. He played 32 in a game, minutes per game. Let's take a peek. He's averaging in the low 20s a game. And he's shooting 72%, baby.
Yeah, I doubt he shoots further than 3 feet from the hoop.
He this year, actually in his career, guess how many 3-pointers he's taken?
1.
Goose egg, not a 1 in 2 years. Shout out to Big E.
That's the definition of coach saying, if you leave the fucking paint, you are going to the bench. You are sitting on the fucking bench. Don't even think about it.
I'm giving you a bus ticket home.
You are good for one fucking thing.
Yeah.
Go stand down there.
Big E also rocks specs during the game. Keep that in mind.
Jesus Christ.
And not rec specs, glasses.
Keeps getting better and better.
Hey, Robbie Avila could never. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, don't talk about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar like that.
Big Cream. Give me, and Robbie would cook him, but give me those two battling it down low.
Okay. Well,
that's my shout out.
I'm glad I got that little piece of information.
Hey, D2 basketball, baby.
Feel better now.
Hey, last bit. I got a text today. You and I are both DU faithful, right? Season has not gone how we wanted it to. Not even close. Oh, yeah.
Actually, sorry. No, sorry. You finish yours because you brought up something I'll talk about afterwards. Because I don't think it's really
7-game slide right now. It's not looking positive. Just got a text from DU Athletics. Join us for senior night. Why would I? Why would I? When I go downtown on a Saturday night during this losing streak and half your damn team's in there talking to 19-year-old girls, okay? I'm good, dude. This team, and I don't blame Henderson necessarily, but we paid a lot of money for these guys to come in, and they don't have an ounce of fight in them, unfortunately. I think Hendo's still the guy, but boy, does this team not give a damn about the name on the front of the jersey.
I have a group chat with some buddies that you know, where we talk Drake basketball. That's the only purpose of the group chat. And I had posed the question after the most recent loss. And I asked the question, should Eric Henderson be fired after 1 year? And it's two different questions. Should he be fired and will he be fired? Two different questions. I don't think he will be fired, but based off what I've seen on the court so far this year, I think it's worthy of being fired. And the reason I say that, Herb, is specifically from when the games that I've actually watched, it just does not feel like the X's and O's are there. The in-game strategic adjustments are
failure,
not being made.
No adjustments.
There's been no improvement throughout the year. Like, I thought there would be growing pains early. There's been no improvement from there on. Like, there's no problem solving at all from what I'm seeing. And I don't think he'll get fired, but I feel like he has done enough to work. Like, if he did get fired, I'll be like, I get it. There's no fight. Like you said, there's no fight.
No. And again, it's unfortunate. And the era of basketball we're in, Drake's a school where you have to buy into the Des Moines hometown team. As cornball as that is, right? If you don't buy into it, the fan base you're going to lose them. Darren DeVries bought into what Drake meant to the Des Moines area and the Drake faithful. He knew what it was, right? And he had some leash in the beginning, but he was very successful in the beginning. Then we get McCollum, who, bam, 1 year, and holy shit, best year we've ever had. So I don't think he'll be fired, but there's a lot of expectation to live up to. But I don't think Harden is that type of guy to just be like, hey, see you after 1 year. I agree. The team hasn't gotten better. So I do think to a point, he hasn't done enough for me to buy into who Hendo is. Not like Darren did, not like Ben did, right? The same team that we saw in the first month or two of the team, plus the addition of Owen Larson once he got healthy, but it's not like that was some big spark plug. Owen Larson is what we thought we were going to get from Connor Enright, or we thought Owen would be a Connor type, and he's not. He's not even close. There isn't that level of desire and a chip on my shoulder with these guys. I think guys like Quinn, Federico, and Larson, there's just not enough of like, hey, let's go out there and prove all these people wrong and all the doubters and everybody who said we're going to finish at the back of the pack. Instead, you've just fed right into that shit. The tough part's going to be is that they're going to completely reset the roster. Everyone's leaving, or it's going to be ugly again.
I don't think that's a bad thing after what we saw.
No. But again, we're sitting here on another rebuild.
The team this year has just been Jalen Quinn. Here's the ball. Go do something with it. And it mainly was just him doing everything offensively because nobody else can get their own shot. But we also don't have any. He's not a playmaker. He's a ball. Nope. He's a scorer. So he can't make plays for other teammates. His teammates can't make plays for themselves, and now we have a one-man offense. And
he's not even, like, he is not that level of player. He is a great guy within a system where we can move the ball, and again, he can attack the basket, right? He is not a take over a game. Yeah, he's scoring the most points, but he is a far cry. Yeah, he's a far cry from Tucker DeVries and Bennett Sturts. I'll tell you that much.
Shit, even from like some of the players that we used to have. It's just
he's no Garrett Sturts, I'll tell you that much.
That's my biggest qualm, is just the fact there's been no improvement whatsoever from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. There's no creativity on offense. You should be like, if you see your offense struggling to the extent that it has so far this year, get creative. I know there's way to generate offense even with the players that we have, but nothing has changed. Yeah. So I don't think he'll get fired.
I do hope Zach stays.
I also think that his leash next season will be quite short, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, you had better be competing for a top 3 slot in the Missouri Valley Conference tournament next year if you want to keep your job.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm glad we were able to get that off our chests.
Thank God.
But yeah, the second I saw that we had lost to Valpo at home, I was like, get rid of the organization. Shut down the program.
It's bad.
You can't lose
There's
to fucking
games
Valpo
you don't lose. Thank you.
Valpo and Evansville. If you lose to either of those teams at home, get rid of the program. I've seen enough.
Yep.
Fucking Valpo still plays in a goddamn high school.
We were spoiled though, huh?
More than I'd like to
admit.
We
were spoiled there.
Yep. Okay, folks. Right. That is another episode of Don't Quote Us Sports. Shout out, no technical problems today. Straight through one take.
Ayo.
Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow. Tell somebody you know to give us a listen. And we will catch you on next week's episode.